union, and I think that's great. If a woman, wants to keep her job forever, she should be able to keep her job forever. But if a woman is over the age of, I don't know, let's say 400, how about we not dress her up like Nefertiti? How about we give Grandma a nice tracksuit and some easy spirits? She doesn't want to show it. We don't want to see it. It's sad. Gambling's supposed to be happy time. I'm trying to hit spin on my Wheel of Fortune slot machine, and that lady comes up, here's your Bud Light. And what's more frightening is that's not even what I heard come out of her mouth. What I heard is, I'm your future, for Christ's sake. Put the cigarette out. Learn from me. Look at me. I was you 28 goddamn minutes ago. That's how fast it happens.
All right. Thank you for tuning into KPOO San Francisco 89.5 FM. That hilarious woman that was just doing a stand-up bit there was Kathleen Madigan, who is joining me right now on the phone. Kathleen, can you hear me?
I can.
Awesome.
Hi.
Thank you for coming on the show. I appreciate it. I'm a really big fan of yours. I've seen you for at least 15 years. I remember seeing one of your early Comedy Central specials, and I just thought it was absolutely hilarious.
Oh, well, thank you.
And that was,
and I'm still doing it.
You
so
are.
Here I am.
And that what I just played right there was from your album Gone Mad Again, which is available on iTunes. You can see the video of it on Netflix, and also on Netflix is going to be your newest special, Madigan Again, and that premieres on Wednesday. If you have Netflix, please check that out. It's going to be hilarious, I promise you.
Yes, I'm really fired up about that one. I filmed it in Detroit, and then Netflix, it goes straight to Netflix. And I have Netflix for my parents because they live in the middle of nowhere in a rural area and they don't have a video store. And my dad said,
Right.
We've decided that we think you should cancel our Netflix and not pay for that. I said, why? He goes, well, we've decided that we've lived so long, we've seen everything. And I but Dad, they make new movies. He goes, it's repetitive, Kathleen. How many movies can I see about Abraham Lincoln in my life? How many movies? I've seen 100. I said, but my special's going to be on Netflix. He goes, well, they just be the same jokes we heard in Las Vegas. Well, kind of.
It's true. It's hard to get the parents into the technology, I find.
Yeah. I'll just keep paying the $9 a month. Don't you worry about it, Dad. I don't want to brag, but I have $9.
You can follow Kathleen on Twitter at Kathleen Madigan. Definitely check out your website, KathleenMadigan.com. You can pick up your CDs, your DVDs, and also I noticed you sell a beer koozie, which I think is probably the coolest piece of... that's a great thing for the fans.
It's not just a souvenir. It's practical.
Oh, it's so practical.
When would you ever turn down a beer koozie and a bottle opener, which I travel with myself because there's many time on the road where I'm like, dang, I just need a bottle opener. There you go. I think I know my fans, and I think they would enjoy that.
I'm definitely going to pick one up, I promise you.
Okay, good.
And also, you'll be at Yoshi's in San Francisco this Saturday night, September 14th, doing shows at 8 and 10 p.m. And I've got one pair of tickets to give away to a lucky caller at the end of this interview, so I'll give out the number, and you can win a pair of tickets. Kathleen, according to your bio, it says you've been doing comedy for 25 years. I know I've seen you do it for a few years, but I didn't realize you were involved for that long.
Yes, since vaudeville, that's what it feels like. When I say 25 years, I'm like, my God, I would have never thought I could do anything for 25 years in a row. I don't have the attention span for it, but yeah, I mean, it'll be 25 years in 2000, technically in 2014 in the beginning of August. But yeah, when people say, I mean, that's pretty much, if you count the open mic years, it's 25 now.
Right.
So,
got it.
yeah, it's a long time. But I was young and stupid when I started. So at least I always feel sorry for people who start really late because it's just really hard to catch up. I mean,
That's
I was
true.
23. I didn't know anything. It was perfect. I was an idiot. I didn't have a good job. I was a journalism major, and I was making like $50 a freelance story. I was making more money bartending. And I'm always shocked when there's comedians that had really good jobs. Like, one guy I know was a space engineer in Houston, and I'm like, you quit that to be a comedian? I feel like that's really something to be said for you, because I didn't lose money by switching.
Right.
I was a bartender. I mean, yeah.
There was an upside.
What am I going to lose?
Yeah. Was that the goal from the beginning, though, for you? Was a comedian, or did you have, you were going to be a journalist?
Well, I didn't want to be that either. I just can't do science or math. And in the Midwest, they don't tell you about any other jobs in college. So
Right.
I thought, well, I can write a story. I know I can write. I'll just go do that. It seemed less hard. It didn't seem like something I wanted to do. It was just, what else are you going to do?
Right.
I mean, I couldn't. I guess I wasn't even creative enough to think of another job.
Did you have some pretty strong comedic influences when you were growing up?
No, I didn't even think about being a comedian. I mean, occasionally I would see people on The Tonight Show that my parents would watch, but me and two of my brothers really thought we were going to be rock stars. we were down the rock star path for a long time, and then for a while I thought it would be fun to be a jockey, and because I really liked that satin material.
Oh, not a disc jockey, an actual horse jockey.
No, a real jockey, because
Okay.
there was a horse track by our house,
Right.
and I was always small, and I thought, I'm probably never going to get over 5'1". I bet I could do that.
That would have been great.
I like animals. You know, it was those guys. I never ever thought of comedian. I didn't know it was a job. Like when you would see, I don't know, Bill Cosby on The Tonight Show, I don't think I understood that was a profession.
Right.
I just thought he was a guy who said funny things.
Yeah.
I didn't think, after The Tonight Show, he'll go around the country and do shows.
And
It
speaking of
never occurred to me.
which, you've been on Leno's show 15 times or something, like 12 times, something like that.
18.
18
I didn't even
times.
know. Yeah,
Wow.
the last time I was on it, they looked it up as part of my intro, and I was like, wow, really? I had no idea. I'm doing it tomorrow.
Wow.
Leno's always been extremely nice and accommodating with me. Like, he's just been nothing but great. So anytime they say, can you come over, I will go. Yeah.
So at this point, you're not nervous at all when you step on that stage.
No, I'm more like excited. It's like, hey, I got 5 new minutes. It's fun. The only thing that bothers me is clothes. Like, I don't really like to shop. I don't really have time to shop. And, it's like, that's always my thought. I'm like, why did I say yes to that? I don't have an outfit.
Yeah.
It's never about the jokes. The jokes are fine. Yeah.
The hardest part is getting dressed. I got it.
It is. It's really the hardest part. If I could just go on in my pajamas, this would be the perfect gig. But I don't think they would.
That's what's so great about the radio. I'm in my pajamas right now, actually.
Good for you.
Yeah.
Good for you.
It's 1 o'clock on the West Coast. I'm in my pajamas. It's fine.
Good.
And also, most people know you from Last Comic Standing, too. You kicked ass on that show, which was an NBC show. Do you think for comedians now it's easier to break in with that kind of opportunity, and also, Comedy Central and now Netflix is available to comedians?
No, I think it was easier even before my generation of comics, when there was just The Tonight Show with Johnny Carson, because there were only 3 channels. 2/3 of the country watched Johnny Carson.
Wow.
2/3. You had everyone's attention. Nothing was divided. They didn't say, here's the country network, here's the black network, here's the Telemundo. Everybody was watching the same show.
Right.
So if you went on it, I don't know, 100 million plus people saw you. Now, whether you did well or not, take that out of the equation. There's no focus anymore at all, anywhere. You could have a special on Comedy Central, so good luck.
Wow.
You know what I mean? Like, there's just no focus. Last Comic Standing was a good thing because it was in prime time,
right.
which was that's like, comedy fans know where to find comics. Oh, go to Comedy Central, stay up late and watch the late shows. But most people, if they have kids and jobs and real lives, they're not staying up till midnight on a weeknight.
That's
but if
true.
it's on at 8 o'clock, they'll watch it, or 9 o'clock. So that was an immense amount of focus, but that's gone. I don't know. Younger comics ask me all the time, and I'm like, I don't know what to tell you. I have no idea how to get people's attention anymore.
Yeah.
I mean, unless you're willing to shoot someone, I don't know how you become a national name. It's taken me 25 years, and I just keep going. I just don't stop. But it will not happen quickly.
Right. And speaking of which, if there's a little girl listening right now, a little girl with the dreams of being one day a famous stand-up, what kind of advice would you give to a female? Because it's a little bit different for a woman to get into the comedy scene than for a man.
it's not different if you're willing to do exactly what you have to do, and you really kind of have to be willing to go on the road. There are people that get away without going, but for the most part, if you're a good comedian and you're going to stay successful and be successful, you're going to have to go on the road. For whatever reason, a lot of women are not on board with that. Mm-hmm. It's too crazy. It's like the Wild West. It's just you're living with other comedians in condos. You don't know these people. It's weird. It's lonely. You know, if you're not going to do the road, then I would say you would just have to view comedy as a hobby.
Right.
And there's nothing wrong with that. There's just nothing wrong with that. But to get good, you have to go everywhere. And you have to keep going and keep going and keep going. So you have to decide, does this sound like fun or does that sound horrible? And I can understand either version of it. You know what I mean? I can see how you could look at it. Because the guy's much more willing to go on the road. And I've never really gotten to think too deeply about why, but that is the case.
I have a couple of theories.
Yeah, well, I think most of it is they're trying to sleep with waitresses.
Yeah.
But what am I going to do? Try to pick up the dishwasher? I mean, and it's more dangerous for a woman.
Definitely.
Like I used to say to the guy comics, I'm like, you can find a waitress and bring her home, and guess what? She cannot physically kill you.
Yeah.
Well, like with her bare hands, she can't.
Yeah.
Any man that I would bring home is capable of murdering me. Not that he would, but the possibility is there.
A lot higher.
Yeah, it's a lot higher. It's a lot weirder. So, I don't know. I have 4 brothers. Maybe I just didn't care as much because I lived like them.
Right. One last question before I let you go here is that you've done the USO tour and you went to Afghanistan and performed for all the troops. And I just wanted to know, and I've heard one of your famous jokes is, I like that you said you have hope for Obama's hope. And I just wondered what you thought about the things going on today with President Obama and Syria and all that. Obviously, I'm not looking for a heavy political opinion, but I just wanted to know.
No, but it always amuses me how much Obama thinks we're all working as a team.
Right.
Like, he was on about Syria, and he said, you know, if you agree with me that we are this and that, then I'm going to need you to email your congressmen and representatives. And I thought, well, then I'm going to need you to email me who they are.
Yeah, you got to do some of the work.
You are jumping out of the gate with way too much confidence in the average American. I don't know who my representatives are. I don't know who my congressmen are. I know the senator, and I know the vice president,
right.
But I don't, you know, he really, to this day, it's been, 7 years?
Yeah.
And I don't know, you know, when they say all these people have died in Syria, I'm like, well, how many people got shot in Detroit last week?
Yeah.
Why don't we invade Detroit? That is a tragedy, what's happening in Detroit.
Absolutely.
Let's invade Detroit. Yeah, how bad do we have to act to attack ourselves?
Yeah.
That's what I want to know. Because you attack and then you rebuild. We rebuilt Baghdad. Good for us.
Yes, good for us.
Let's rebuild Detroit. Anybody? St. Louis, my hometown. Well, downtown is abandoned. Let's do that.
All of you out there interested in rebuilding Detroit, get in touch with your local representative and send them an email.
We're all on board with the idea of invading St. Louis, Cleveland. I'm trying to think of all the downtowns that are empty. Pittsburgh, Detroit. Yeah, the whole Midwest, basically. All of us. We need to be invaded.
We will do it.
And then you got to fix this.
Well, Kathleen, thank you so much for coming on the phone with us. And again, you're at Yoshi's this Saturday, September 14th. 2 shows, 8 p.m., 10 p.m. Go to yoshis.com or KathleenMadigan.com. Pick up some tickets. And if you want 1 pair I'm giving away right now, give us a call at 415-346-5376. Kathleen, I'm going to go out with one of your jokes here about the U.S. banking system, which I thought is hilarious.
All right. Thanks for the press. I appreciate it.
Thank you so much for calling in. Take care. Have a good show.
Okay.
All
right. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
I just would not want to be Obama. The whole economy has fallen.